Until last year, designers were just playing around with AI, just using Gemini and all those to do basic things like understanding and creating basic UI and stuff. But this year, though, they are rebuilding the entire workflows around it, and 91% of designers now use AI every single week. And this is up 54% from last year. So this is not a trend anymore, and it's an inflection point. So let me show you what's actually happening here, because a new report just dropped that surveyed the entire design industry. So again, this is from the AI in Design 2026 report. It's been there for a while now, and they are trying to cover around 900 designers across 60 plus countries. But frankly, I'm not very keen on these numbers because sometimes they feel slightly inflated because I'm not seeing so much of adoption of AI in the design. So yeah, take it with a pinch of salt, but these are some really good surveyed analytics that you can take back home, right? So it basically breaks down three big stories: the tools, the craft, and the team. So we'll go through them one by one. First up, the tools. So the average designer's AI tool stack more than doubled from last year. So it was 3 last year, now it came up to 7. And there's a new king now. Claude actually overtook ChatGPT. This was like 78% versus 65%. And Claude Code, which didn't even exist on the list for the designers toolkit, now is up to 65% of designers are using it. And Perplexity completely crashed from 34 to 13%. So the stack basically is exploding and reshuffling at the same time. But here's the paradox though. 80% of designers say reliable output quality is exactly what makes a tool stick. And yet 62% say unreliable output is still the biggest problem with AI. You just give it something and you really don't get the output that you want, or it tweaks something else which you did not intend to tweak. So yeah, that's there. The tools just aren't fully there yet, which means designers did something kind of unexpected. They started building their own tools. So you can see a lot of people building their own Figma plugins and tools to get your work done faster. So at big companies, 74% of designers now use custom internal tools that they build by themselves. Like Stripe build their own thing called as Protodash, and Anthropic designers run 5 internal micro tools that just fastens their work. So designers aren't just users anymore, they are basically tool makers as well now. And that brings us to chapter 2, which is the craft. And this is honestly the stat of the whole report. Half of all designers have now shipped AI generated code to production. Real code, which is again the inflated numbers that I told about. I really don't see half of the designers doing code at the moment. People still are just designing UI and UX, right? It's somewhere around 25% to 30%, but yeah, are the numbers from the report. So I'll just go ahead with that. So a lot of them have started calling themselves as design engineers, front-end designers, and so on, right? At startups, it's even wilder. 68% of early startup companies and 70% of founders have started adopting right-away code. So the wall between design and engineering isn't just cracking at the moment, it's basically just getting vanished. Designers at this are wearing multiple hats and they're just designing and even shipping the design to actual code, where probably the developers are just adding APIs to it and they are just plugging in the APIs and doing the final edge cases and the cleanup and the security aspect of it, right? So that is the kind of workflow I'm seeing and hearing from the industry. All right, chapter 3 is the teams. Honestly, the org chart is just melting down right now. 65% of designers are doing work that used to belong to PMs and engineers. So the line between PMs and designers and engineers are slowly blurring out, and people are trying to do the work from both ends of this. So 40% of PMs and engineers are doing design work. So when designers get into engineering, it's more like the front end work that they're picking up, and designers trying to do the PM's work. They're trying to get the product, the edge cases, and understand the product and take decisions from that end of it, right? So roles are just blurring into what the report calls as block-shaped people. So is AI killing design jobs? 60% of design leaders plan to keep or even grow their teams, but they are hiring for a pretty different kind of role at the moment. The JD are shifting. AI fluency is basically the formal hiring criteria at a lot of companies. So you see people nowadays hiring for AI native designers and so on. But yeah, definitely, even though it's not AI native designers, having to use AI and understand AI and use AI in their work is a definite ask that is growing in the job descriptions that I'm seeing nowadays. But look what sits right next to it though. Creative direction, storytelling, strategic thinking, all these are becoming a definite ask because the taste, as you saw, the craft is definitely gonna be a differentiator. And look what fell all the way to the bottom of the list is pixel perfect execution, because machines can handle pixel pushing and moving very easily. So that is taken care by the machine, and you bring the point of view, the taste and the craft. So here's my takeaway. Honestly, AI is not going to replace designers any soon, but definitely it's going to change the way the role is getting adapted to. It has definitely raised the bar for what being a designer even means. You just can't get away with basic UI and stuff, right? And know your craft very thoroughly. You can check out the full report. It's completely free. I've mentioned the link in the description below. This was just a very quick summary. And if you found this helpful, do subscribe to the channel and comment below what you think about this. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.